Mr. Chairman.
Who's calling?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please, go ahead, Senator Cruz.
If I could briefly respond, I will say it is rich listening to our Democrat colleagues profess their fidelity to the rule of law after 4 years of happily turning a blind eye to Joe Biden and the Biden Justice Department ignoring federal law, refusing to force federal immigration law, blatantly defying the law. And ironically, the litany of false charges that the senator from Illinois just directed at Mr. Wrights is really striking, but their favorite talking point is that he will defy federal court orders. Now, he's been a practicing lawyer for many years. He's never defied a federal court order, but I'll tell you who has. Joe Biden. And in fact, let's read what Joe Biden said in his tweet. Here's what Joe Biden said, quote, "The Supreme Court tried to block me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me. I've relieved student debt for over 5 million Americans. I'm going to keep going." That's the same Joe Biden they were happy to salute and listen to defy the court if it's in favor.
Hey, welcome back to Conservative Chronicle. Today, Senator Ted Cruz just went scorched earth on Dick Durbin over what he calls false and hypocritical attacks on a key Trump DOJ nominee. And trust me, this one gets heated. If you love seeing politicians held accountable, hit that like button, and let's break this down. So what's the controversy? Senator Dick Durbin came out swinging, accusing Trump's DOJ pick Aaron Wise of being unfit for office. Why?
Nomination. You want to speak on this? Yeah, go ahead and speak.
Mr. Chairman, Aaron Wrights has demonstrated he is not fit to serve in any role in the Department of Justice. He believes there are instances in which a public official may defy a court order that should concern every member of this committee on both sides of the table. As Senator Kennedy said to Mr. Wrights during his hearing, quote, "Don't ever take the position you're not going to follow the order of a federal court, ever," close quote. I couldn't agree more. Failing to unequivocally commit to following federal court orders should disqualify any nominee before this committee. This is not only my concern. Mr. Wrights attempted to hide his disturbing views on many issues, deleting approximately 4,000 social media posts. Nothing was off limits in his social media posts that we uncovered.
Because Wise allegedly refused to commit to following court orders and had some controversial social media posts. Durbin even went after him for a comment about the Derek Chauvin trial. Sounds serious, right? Well, not so fast. Aaron Wise called the jury's guilty verdict bogus after Chauvin was convicted. Durbin is making it sound like Wise is some kind of radical. But what he's not telling you is
the venom and self-righteousness in his posts are fair warning of what he would bring to the Department of Justice. There was one episode involving the Olympic gymnast Simone Biles. I am not going to go into it because he publicly apologized for what he said, but there are other things of concern. I will only speak of one. Before Derek Chauvin was convicted of murdering George Floyd, Mr. Wrights wrote, and I quote, "No question in my mind," he wrote, "that Chauvin is not guilty." Really? Did he see the 9 minutes and 29-second video of Chauvin kneeling on Mr. Floyd's neck as he cried out for his mother? Can you ever forget the look in his eyes? Several Republican members of this committee rightfully spoke out against this heinous crime. After Chauvin was convicted, Mr. Wrights called the jury decision, quote, "a bogus guilty verdict," close quote. Mr. Wrights' disrespect for the finality of court orders is matched by his disrespect for the finality of a jury verdict. He's unfit to lead the Office of Legal Policy, and I urge my colleagues to oppose him.
Is the full context, and that's exactly where Ted Cruz steps in.
Mr. Chairman.
Who's calling?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, please, go ahead, Senator Cruz.
If I could briefly respond, I will say it is rich listening to our Democrat colleagues profess their fidelity to the rule of law after 4 years of happily turning a blind eye to Joe Biden and the Biden Justice Department ignoring federal law, refusing to force federal immigration law, blatantly defying the law. And ironically, the litany of false charges that the senator from Illinois just directed at Mr. Wrights is really striking, but their favorite talking point is that he will defy federal court orders. Now, he's been a practicing lawyer for many years. He's never defied a federal court order, but I'll tell you who has. Joe Biden. And in fact, let's read what Joe Biden said in his tweet. Here's what Joe Biden said, quote, The Supreme Court tried to block me from relieving student debt, but they didn't stop me. I've relieved student debt for over 5 million Americans. I'm going to keep going. That's the same Joe Biden they were happy to salute and listen to defy the court if it's in favor.
Now enter Ted Cruz, and let's just say he wasn't having any of it. Cruz hit back hard, exposing what he called Durbin's fake outrage and straight-up hypocrisy. It is rich listening to Democrats talk about the rule of law after they spent 4 years ignoring Joe Biden and his DOJ blatantly defying it. Boom! Cruz flips the script and calls out how Democrats have conveniently ignored actual violations of federal law, including Joe Biden openly defying the Supreme Court on student loan forgiveness. So let me get this straight: when a conservative nominee expresses a legal opinion, it's dangerous, but when the sitting president ignores the highest court in the land, it's totally fine?
Of their left-wing political agenda, I will point out the aspersions Ranking Member Durbin just cast to Mr. Wrights. He is also in the Marines as a reserve, a major in the Marines. He has fought to defend this nation, and he will make an exemplary Assistant Attorney General at the Department of Justice. And I, for one, am glad we are getting officials at the Department of Justice who will follow the damn law instead of being lawless and treating the Department of Justice and FBI as the personal enforcement arm of the Democrat National Committee.
Makes you think. But this isn't just about one nominee. Cruz went even further and exposed what he called the real problem, a DOJ that he says has turned into a political weapon for Democrats. The Department of Justice and FBI are acting like the enforcement arm of the Democratic National Committee. That's a serious claim. Cruz is saying that under Biden, the DOJ isn't following the law, it's targeting political opponents while letting their own allies off the hook. If that's true, it's a massive scandal. Do you agree? Let me know in the comments. And if you love seeing politicians exposed for their double standards, make sure to hit that subscribe button right now.
Everyone to vote yes, although I'm confident everyone on the left side of the aisle is going to vote no, because for all their words of the rule of law, they could not bring themselves once to demand the rule of law be followed from the Biden Justice Department.
Clerk will call the roll.
So, where does this leave us? The Senate Judiciary Committee will vote on Rhee's nomination, and you can bet every Democrat will vote against him. But Cruz's response proves one thing: this fight isn't just about one nominee. It's about who really follows the rule of law and who just pretends to when it benefits them. I urge my colleagues to vote yes, although I know the left will vote no because they refuse to hold Biden's DOJ accountable. The real question is, will the media cover this fairly, or will they spin it to fit their narrative? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button and subscribe for more no-nonsense political analysis. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss an update.